One of my mentors in life was Brooks Oakford. We called him Bud. Um, and he was a cousin of mine, and he owned a candy store in Merchantville, New Jersey. It was called Aunt Charlotte's. If you want homemade candy, Google Aunt Charlotte's, Merchantville, New Jersey, and you can buy exquisite candy of all sorts and shapes. Um, when I was Bud, I owe a great deal to Bud. When I was I was no more than 9 years old, and one Christmas he asked me if I wanted to work in his candy store during the Christmas preparation for the Christmas season of making candy. Back then, working in a candy store for a 9-year-old kid was heaven. I had no idea what he saw in me, and I didn't even care. I could work in a candy store, and that was the happiest time of my life. Um, it wasn't until I became an adult and I started reflecting upon my childhood, and then it dawned on me. Here was a guy who owned a candy store who could see something in who I was and was able to say, that kid, 9 years old, I can trust. And he taught me how to put pretzels on a little conveyor belt that went 30 feet and coated chocolate on the pretzels. And in this essay, there is a link to an article that I wrote about that. But this essay is about a tradition that he had that he gave back in the late 40s. And I can remember this when I was 5 or 6 years old, but up to the time I moved from Merchantville, which was when I was about 10 years old. He would go around and get newly minted pennies, bright, shiny new pennies in a roll, and then start giving out pennies to the kids in the family, the Oakford extended family. I mean, he gave them out to all the kids in his family, the extended family, and he gave them out to everybody else. And it was just a tradition that Bud had. The interesting thing about that tradition is that it got me involved in collecting pennies. I loved seeing the bright, shiny new pennies, and that interest motivated me to collect pennies. I got into pennies, nickels, and dimes, and quarters, and halves over the next 3 or 4 years. Okay. Period, new paragraph. A lifetime later, Jack and Owen, who are my 2 grandsons who are 5 and 3, are collecting pennies now. And I'll tell you, one of the fun things in life is to see their interest in the pennies. Jack, who is very driven about getting things done correctly and right, I got him some folders and got him a couple rolls of pennies, and he now knows how to read the date on the penny, whether it was minted in Philadelphia or San Francisco or Denver, and put the penny in the right slot in these little folders that they have. Owen, who is 3 years old, understands as he's watching Jack that the idea is to get the penny into the little folder, so he just takes pennies and just randomly puts them in. And it's fun to watch the 2 of them developing their feelings and their understanding of collecting coins. But it's also fun for me as an adult. Over 60 years ago, I was doing what they are doing. And thanks to Bud, that tradition has carried on. Bud would be proud of me. But it's also fun for me at my age to look at them and think, you know, I remember when I was their age and Bud was watching me, and now I'm watching them. I'll tell you, life can be great. My suggestion is, while I'm having fun with my grandchildren, there are children, grandchildren, or kids in your neighborhood that can learn some traditions that will benefit them now and in the future. And while collecting coins is something that Jack and Owen are doing, well, I'll tell you, you will be rewarded by watching the next generation carry on some of your traditions. In the meantime, you take care. Thanks for reading this article, and thanks for watching this video.